It's a beautiful morning. Okay, going to do a reaction video to getting to know Eyesmick. And okay, just a refresher. Man, I hate, I hate being redundant, but let's just get a refresher how we got here, right? So, Power Stroke and Ryan Upchurch were bullying, harassing, stalking, slandering, mobbing four women and a 17-year-old girl relentlessly for a month. Um, Two of the females were cyber mobbed by Crack Squad, who not only did well, you guys have saw what has been done to me, right? Well, that was the same thing that was done to these women, right? And I would say that Zanime got it worse than I've gotten it. Okay, so just try to wrap your mind around that. That you are a woman, and what you guys have seen done to me was done to her even worse. And they went into her private life just like they did me. Okay, you seen what they did to me. Went into my private life, contacted every single buddy they could find that had the same last name or they thought might be related to me, seeing if they would slander me. And they had, and after Rusty, Power Stroke's dad, tried to message my oldest brother's 17-year-old granddaughter. He sent her 7 emails until my brother said one more time and I'm calling the police. And so that's how we got here, right? And I spoke up against that, said, Ryan Upchurch, you should not be using your social media influence to beat the shit out of people the way you do, especially people smaller than you, especially women, because it's a whole different ball game. You know, if some guy's like messing with me, I feel like I could defend myself, right? If I had to. But imagine being a woman and having some dude relentlessly coming at you that you don't know and you've never done anything to, but because some celebrity accused you of human sex trafficking, murder, and criminal activity and stolen valor, all these people are coming at you. Dudes with like psychological issues, okay, were coming at these women, not only on YouTube but in real life. Okay, and I called that shit out. Tried to warn Power Stroke that reporters were coming around, and he thought it was funny. So now he thinks because he got himself in some shit that it's my fault because he's not real smart. And then his daddy, his and like I said this before, I can't imagine having a father that would help me do shit that I know is wrong, would help me bully people. Imagine your dad helping you bully people. Imagine your dad helping you slander women. Imagine your dad helping you dox people. I couldn't imagine having an irresponsible parent like that. But anyway, that's how we got here. And then, of course, Eyesmick, a person I don't know, I've never spoken to, never done anything to, he trolled me for, I was thinking, like a month. No, 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 no. 2 months. He was making videos, making fun of my eyes are all fucked up from the chemical. And, I had to have a bone marrow transplant. I was hospitalized, bedridden for 14 months. I lost 122 pounds. I was extremely emaciated, very weak, and it took a year for me to be able to get back on my feet and have the strength. And when I'm ready, I'll share the photographs. I looked like a skeleton with pantyhose pulled over. That's how bad it was. You could see every bone in my body, and even the bones in my face. It was bad. It looked really bad. And uh, but anyway, he's made just videos, making fun of the condition I got with my eyes going on. Called me a pedophile. Um, Thinks he knows where I live and has tried to make fun of where I live because I own a modular. I own a property that's a modular, and nothing, not throwing any shade. My wife grew up in a trailer. I lived when I first got married. I lived in a 14 by 70 till I was getting on my feet. A lot of people, I would say a huge portion of Creek Squad is mobile homes, double wides, that sort of thing, because it's poor country folk, right? And and let's make no mistake, there are two aspects to this, right? There's Creek Squad, me, okay, people that would give you the shirt off your back, never punch down, never pick on people smaller than you, never be abusive to women, never bully people, never dox people, shit like that, right? And then there's Crack Squad, okay? About 300 really extremely low IQ and loyal, unhealthy loyal to a celebrity. They're over invested in a celebrity to the point that they are willing to go harm people on his behalf. And he is more than happy to use his social media influence to encourage that. Okay, so that is how we got here. Uh, Crack Squad is not associated with Creek Squad. Creek Squad are good people. Crack Squad are filth. So let's keep it real. So with that, let's move on to the reaction video, and I'm just going to predict that he is a victim of psychobabble, just like Wade Deaver tried to claim he was a victim of psychobabble, although never did anything to him. All he did was make videos trying to insult me. But now, because I responded to him, he's a victim. And we're going to hear the same thing with Eyesmick. Trolled me for 2 months, made every kind of nasty insult he could make because I dared to call Ryan Upchurch out. And now that I responded to him, he's a victim. Guaranteed that's what we're going to hear.
We live in here, man? I think so.
Yep, we're live. 7 seconds.
All right. What's going on, y'all? We got Eyesmick in here, man. We're just gonna let him tell his story, Basically just give him the inside of Eyesmick. Inside the mind of Eyesmick. That's what we'll call it. Inside the mind of Eyesmick.
Inside the mind of inside the mind of Crack Squad.
What happens if you felt outside the mind of Eyesmick?
Inside the mind of Crack Squad. What does it take to be low IQ enough to bully women, to make fun of people's medical conditions, to troll people outside of YouTube, to go pester people to try to find dirt on others? The inside the mind of Crack Squad.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Battle seems to have done it.
But nah, man, we're actually, we're gonna introduce Eyesmick, man. We're just gonna chill, talk to you guys and just cut it up. So we got Eyesmick in here, we got Rusty Truck.
Rusty, you should probably hook up with Patty Lynn. You two could be like the YouTube's most irresponsible parent couple, and like turn it into something. You guys could probably make something out of that. It could be a good shtick. We are the Earth's most irresponsible parent. We encourage our children to do shitty stuff to people.
Rusty, it's nice having you back up here, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Anytime.
I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity.
Oh, hey, listen, man. You're one of my favorite YouTube personalities right now.
Appreciate that.
Hey, I just want to take a minute. Now that I know I live inside your head, rent free, Rusty, I want to take a minute to thank all you guys for watching all my videos, coming in my chat using your sock accounts on every video, commenting on all my videos using your sock accounts. It really pushed that algorithm. And, you know, I went from like having barely any subscribers to almost 5,000 without ever asking for a sub, without getting any endorsement from Ryan Upchurch. And I just want to thank you guys for that.
Creek Squad.
Oh yeah, man. All right, so I'm gonna pass this off, man, to Eyesmick. Eyesmick, go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
Well, my government name is Eyesmick. If anybody was wondering, it's just spelled differently. I'm in my
right.
mid-30s.
Hey, he said government name. So
Hey, government. Hey, Power Joke. Is this the same government that was downloading all of Kylie Rodney's videos and editing them and then re-uploading them to the internet to throw you and Ryan Upchurch off the Kylie Rodney investigation, where 3 YouTubers and a girl in the Army faked a child's death and then scuba dived down to the car using a Yamaha scuba bike? Is that the same government that gave Eyesmick his name? It's not called government name. It's just called your fucking name. Jesus.
you might want to pay attention to that.
Yeah,
Pay
if
attention.
you're looking to do any,
Is he a government spy? I knew it the whole time. He works for the government.
anything with that, you know, go ahead, run with it. But I'm in my mid-30s.
That's sad. Mid-30s, single, living in your mom's boyfriend's apartment.
I do not live at home with my mother and her boyfriend
Yes, you do.
in a 2-story, low-budget fucking apartment.
Hey,
And let me address that. Eyesmick, your ex-girlfriend sent us a picture of the apartment complex you live in. And she, with a red marker, you see, like I said, play silly games, win silly prizes, right? When you go out on the internet looking to find some guy's ex to see if she's willing to drag him, you open up the door for that to be done to you, right? And since I have about 5 times the amount of supporters that Crack Squad has, it offended a bunch of people when you guys did that. And all of a sudden, a bunch of people from your past, people that know you dipshits, sent me emails. And Eyesmick, you were included in that. And yeah, she drew a picture with an arrow, and it looked like it was pointing to the 2nd floor. So that part could be wrong, right? But you do live in a low-income apartment complex, and you do live in an apartment, and it is your mom's boyfriend that the apartment's name's in, according to her. And when you made your video opening the door, that confirmed it. It is damn sure enough exactly what she said, because there's not a house on the planet Earth that sets right on the ground, and when you open the door, right there's the ground. Houses are built on a foundation and have a stoop. Only apartments are made that way. So you just confirmed it. And it was kind of funny how you never turned around. You never let the camera point to show that it was a house or anything, right? You just walked outside in the dark. That didn't prove shit. I mean, those kind of receipts don't fly with Crack Squad, right? Crack Squad don't take anybody's word. Well, they take Ryan Upchurch's word for something, or somebody wants to insult me, they take their word for it with no receipts. But anything I say has got to have just rock solid receipts, right? So that wasn't a receipt, Eyesmick. All you did was walk outside and show us that you damn sure do live in an apartment. Now, I'm not knocking people that live in apartments. Once again, we got to go back at how we got here. You trolled me relentlessly, making fun of the condition I have due to having a bone marrow transplant and having to take chemical treatment. You thought that I would be embarrassed because I owned a modular, when like probably 70% of Creek Squad is probably modulars or mobile homes because they're country folk, and that there's a lot of modulars and mobile home stuff in the country. I mean, it just one goes with the other. So that's how we got here. Okay, not me making fun of people, you making fun. Okay, and you think you know where I live, and you're completely wrong. You haven't gotten it right yet. You're way off. And the problem, the funniest part of that is I told you guys in one of my early videos, I told you my name, told you where I was born, told you, described where I lived, and you still haven't figured it out yet. So, whatever.
Hey, I apologize for cutting you off.
Oh
But
no, you good? What's up?
second story.
Yeah, second story. When I walk out my front door, you see grass. The video is there, but
How did you do that? Are you a magician?
No, he was able to open the door and there'd be grass right there because it's an apartment.
I'm a fucking wizard. I'm a leprechaun. I'm a leprechaun.
Hey, do you know how easy you could make me look like an idiot, Eyesmick? You could make me look like an idiot if you just right there in that room you're in right now, just grabbed your phone, hit record, walked out the front door and turned around. You don't have to like show any identifying features or any identifying landmarks or any kind of an address number. It would be real easy to tell the difference if that's an apartment or a house, right? Just all you'd have to do is just walk outside and turn around for a second, right? And you didn't do that, did you? Because it's an apartment. But go ahead.
That's what it is. They were talking about me being a leprechaun earlier. Hey.
Yo, hey,
well, wait a minute. That wasn't me. That was other people. And the funny thing was, when I put your picture on my community page, I was just about ready to hit send, and my wife walked in the room. She goes, "What the hell is that? A leprechaun?" And I laughed my ass off, right? So, but I never said much about it and didn't think much about it. Well, then later on my live stream, somebody in the chat said he looks like a leprechaun. So there's two people that said it, right? That don't even know each other. And then another person said it. So, dude, you might want to take the hint. That stupid hat with that stupid mushroom on it, coming from the LBGTQ section of Buckle, makes you look like a leprechaun. Sorry.
And Linda the Wolf, she says, "I thought your name was Chris." Who the fuck is Chris? I keep
what? Chris knows who Chris is. There's about 800 crack squad, and one of them's named Chris that has an ex-girlfriend that's begging to come drag him because you guys started that. Okay, you guys think it's cool. See, I've got integrity, right? So I'm not going to let some guy's ex come on and slander him, because I got sense enough to know everyone's ex does that to them, right? They're the best thing in the world when they're dating. They're madly in love when they're dating. They're just the best thing in the world. And then as soon as they break up, and it's women that do it mostly, okay? As soon as they break up, oh, he's the worst piece of shit in the world. Well, then why'd you date him? You know, why'd you have kids with him? Why was you married to him for several years and begged for him to come back and all that, right? It was just all these things you say. So I won't let people come on my podcast and slander other people, especially an ex-girlfriend. That's just, to me, I just got too much integrity to do that. It would be easy. My listeners are begging me to just throw my integrity out the window and be pieces of shit like you and do that. But I will not do that to people. But anyway, getting back to the point. One of the crackheads has an ex. His name is Chris. And he has an ex-girlfriend that wants to drag him because of what you guys did to me. Chris knows who Chris is. It's got nothing to do with Eyesmick.
keep hearing Chris. Who the hell is
I
Chris?
think that's somewhere in the Bubbles' mind that I believe he believes that's Mike 12 point somewhere. So who?
What? What would make? I've never said anything about it being Mike 12 Point. Where the hell would you get that from? I guess we know Mike 12 Point's name's Chris now. Thanks. I didn't know that before. I do now.
Fuck knows.
Yeah, he said something about somebody with named Chris covering up homemade tattoos with a lot of makeup. I was praying he was talking about me because
Now that I believe, because you begged for my attention for 2 months.
that's most certainly not my name, but it is what it is. But I mean, I had a normal life, you know what I mean? Mom and dad split up when I was younger. I mean, he claimed I never had a father figure, but I mean, my dad was there. He was just
I say that because you have no morals. You have no integrity. You don't know right from wrong. You support the bullying, slandering, bashing, dragging, and just mobbing of innocent women. You think you're down with that. You're sitting on a podcast with a guy who really fucked up the lives of some women, causing them some serious. Now, okay, let me just say this. You guys saw what has been done to me, right? Imagine being a woman and having that shit done to you by these fucking crackheads. Well, that's the life that Xana May and her mom and Callie lived for like 6 weeks. And I would dare bet that Xana May got it worse than I did because of that fuckhead you're sitting on that podcast with right now and his stupid, irresponsible daddy. So that's how we got here. So it's hard for me to believe you could grow up with a father figure and support that kind of shit. That's all.
in prison periodically, but
Right.
you know, I learned some shit that I shouldn't do from him. You know,
Same, now you and Power Stroke have the same thing in common. Your parents teach you to do shit that's wrong, teach you to do the wrong thing to people, teach you to bully people, teach you to slander people, teach you to dox people, teach you to punch down, teach you to make fun of people's handicaps, teach you to make fun of people's medical conditions, teach you to make fun of people's living conditions. I couldn't imagine having a parent like that.
and if I followed in my dad's footsteps the way Jimmy wants me to follow in his footsteps, I'd have probably ended up just like his son. So that said a lot. But
Hey, let's touch on that because, my wife spoke about that a little bit. Hey, Power Stroke, I know you think it made you look good. When you let that woman come on your podcast and suggest that the death of a stepchild or adopted child is no big deal, and that hurting you or causing you to cry is just you being overly dramatic, that the death of a stepchild or the death of an adopted child is no big deal. That's just, I have no business being upset about that. You actually allowed her to sit on your podcast and say that shit. Now, I don't know about you, Power Stroke. I don't know about you, the most irresponsible father on the internet, and I don't know about you, Eyesmick. But some of us men love our stepchildren like they are our own, especially when you raise them from a little kid. Some of us love our adopted children like they are our born children. And so if something happens to them, it hurts us. I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's an act. I'm glad you think it's just no big deal when that happens. It's good to know that that is the type of person you are. Somebody that has absolutely no fucking character, no integrity, no nothing. Just an empty shell of shit. You people have made yourselves look like scum, making fun of anyone's death due to overdose. You guys making fun. Do you know how many people out there have had a relative, a child, a spouse die of drugs? 103,000. 103,000 people under the age of 25 died of a drug overdose in 2021. But you go, boy.
I mean, regular childhood, I mean, I've exposed it a few times on a couple other people's panels that I've talked about it.
You know, I let that go too quick. I want to be clear about this. Drug addiction can strike anyone. It does not discriminate. You can be wealthy and be addicted to drugs. You can be poor, be addicted to drugs. You can be an entertainer and be addicted to drugs. Some of the best entertainers in the world have died to drug addiction. Rich kids die of drug addiction. Poor kids die of drug addiction. Kids with saints for parents die of drug addiction. Kids with no parents die of drug addiction. Drug addiction is not associated with the people around you or how you were raised or anything. Drug addiction is a disease that can strike anyone, just the same way it's striking Ryan Upchurch right now.
I was injured when I was a kid. I was run over by a tractor in the bush hog when I was 5 years old. I have a prosthetic leg because of it now. Yeah, Jimmy, run with that, bitch. It's a pogo stick.
What? You're the one that makes fun of people's medical conditions. How many videos have you made making fun of the condition I got with my eyes? How many? Was it like 25 videos before I responded to you? One of my favorite supporters is Motivated One-Legger. So fuck you, buddy. Don't even try it. Okay. One of my best friends I grew up with had a prosthetic leg, and he kicked the shit out of all three of you alone. He was one of the toughest guys I've ever known. And yeah, so don't even go. You're the one that makes fun of people's medical conditions that's out of their control. Okay. I'm going to repeat. I have a condition with my eyes due to the chemical I have to take after having a bone marrow transplant.
Go gadget leg, whatever you want to say, bitch. But
I've never said that.
I mean, I spent most of my childhood in a hospital bed, like the majority of it anyway. 52 surgeries.
I went to 22 specialists. I had a bone marrow biopsy, lymph node biopsy, triple spinal fusion, spinal fluid biopsy, back to the hospital again, and then bone marrow transplant. And then I had to go back every 3 days for the first 6 months. I had to go back every 3 days and take chemical. And then it got to where I could go a month. And then it got to where I could go 2 months. And then it got to where I could go 3 months. And now every 3 months, I have to go and take a chemical regimen. It's called plasma therapy. Look it up.
I'm not a drug addict like I should be from the pain meds that I was given as a kid.
I'm not either, because instead of allowing them to, most cancer patients are immediately prescribed hydrocodone. I said, no, don't want it. What can I do? And I went the CBD medical marijuana route. And you've made fun of that, haven't you? Haven't you, Crack Squad? It blows my mind how hypocrisy leaks from every pore in you fuckhead's body. You literally try to be victims and get people to feel sorry for you after you just did the exact same shit to other people. I I want to be clear. You're the one making videos, making fun of people's medical condition. Eyesmick, you do that. I don't do that. You've never heard me do that.
The kid, Jimmy, you should learn a lot from that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
I don't
I'm pretty
care.
respectable.
I don't care what happened in your childhood. I'm not the one making videos for 2 months, insulting you and making fun of where I think you live and making fun of your medical condition. That was you doing that to me. Now I finally responded in kind, but everybody knows you trolled me for 2 months. What are you trying to prove here, dude? You act like I just out of the blue came and attacked you and started making fun of you, and then none of that has ever happened. I mean, you guys live in a fucking fantasy world.
Guy, I respect you. You respect me. I mean, Jimmy, I dropped out of school, got my GED. I went to the union when I was 19. You know, since I have no job.
I left home at 17 years old and never went back. Left home at 17 years old, never went back. No big deal, buddy. A lot of us got to do that.
Union Local 214 out of New Orleans, Jimmy.
Whoa. He could do too much with that now. You know, he's got a wild imagination.
I mean, look, here's a resume too if you need it, Jimmy.
No.
How many certifications you want, Jimmy? How many certifications you want, Jimmy?
Hey, listen. Hey, you need to calm that shit down, bro. We do.
Whoa. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the phone. No. That's not receipts. All you did was hold up a folder. I can hold that. Hold on, let me grab the folder and hold it up. How many I'm an electrician. How many certifications you want? That's not receipts. I don't believe you. I think that folder's just full of like a bunch of crayon scribbles. Now prove me wrong. That wasn't receipts. Your ex-girlfriend says you're too lazy to work. Not me, your ex-girlfriend. She said that. Now, I love how those receipts would never fly for Crack Squad, just holding up a folder and setting it back down. What kind of receipt's that? Walking outside at night?
Strictly in business cards from the mid 80s.
Ooh, I forgot.
That down.
I needed a plaque with.
Now listen, I actually show physical evidence of my career. Not only am I standing in a shop, okay, full of very, very patinaed, worn-in tools. Okay, I could pull this top toolbox drawer open. Google one set of snap-on sockets. And you guys still act like I'm not a technician. And it makes you look stupid. And the only reason I showed that, Rusty, is to prove it says service manager, not service writer, service manager. Because you guys were the ones that let somebody come on your podcast claiming that I've never done that. And you got proved wrong with receipts. I didn't just hold up a folder. I had receipts, real receipts. Sorry it makes you jealous that I'm a very accomplished technician. I rebuilt my first engine when I was 14 years old in a 10-second A990 car when I was 14. But you go ahead there, buddy, and think that it's funny that I was a service manager for that many years. You think that let me see you get a job doing that. Bet you can't. Bet you can't get a job as a service manager of a high-end auto repair shop. And I bet you can't either, Power Stroke, because you do not have the qualifications to do it. You have to have experience. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. You guys are the ones that have tried to make fun of what I do for a living. You see, I don't know any of you. I've never made videos to any of you until you forced me to respond. So, once again, the hypocrisy just drains from you idiots. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Eyesmick, those weren't receipts. You held up a folder. That didn't prove anything. So I believe your ex-girlfriend. You're lazy and you don't work.
A bunch of business
No.
cards.
Listen,
that
you
I
only
zoom
deal
in on,
with
I let you see
business
like
cards.
that.
I don't care about your certification, sir.
But I mean, you know, I joined the union when I was 19. I'll be 35 next year. You know what I mean? But I don't have a job, Jimmy. I've never
You don't work. You ain't in the union. Your girlfriend says you ain't worked for a long time. You don't even have a car.
had a job. I've got all these tattoos before I was ever able to employ.
You're not gonna act like tattoos make you something, are you? He's gonna. Let's let him do that. Tattoos make you something? Letting somebody scribble on your skin with permanent ink from somebody that wishes they was an artist but couldn't sell a painting on the sidewalk for 10 cents. Scribble on your body in permanent ink makes you nothing but stupid. Now, it's one thing if you can get tats that are respectable and you can still get gainful employment and all that, right? But when you go marking your face up, marking your hands up and all that shit, all you're doing is screwing yourself. It's not my fault society frowns on that sort of thing. I didn't do that. Society does it. And you're highly irresponsible when you mar your body up that could hinder where your life might take you. Do you know how many young girls lost modeling deals because they had tattoos?
Myself, Jimmy. I mean, whatever you want to do with that, please, my guy, do it. Wow. But I would love to see this girlfriend that ain't had a job in over a year and all that other shit.
Well, she's begging to come on. And because you see, Eyesmick, lucky for you, okay, I've had 2 exes that refused to move on. First one I was married to for 13 years. The second one, I was under roof with her for 11 months total, 25 years ago. And you see, she still talks like I left there yesterday. I've had it done to me. I've been slandered by an ex to hell and back, to my kids, to anybody that would listen. So I know what that's like. And I think it's shitty. I think it's low down because everybody knows an ex is not going to say something nice about you. They're going to say something shitty about you. And everyone out there has an ex. So when you guys did that, it pissed off a bunch of people that know how it is, right? People that live in reality that, hey, my ex does that to me, man. That's shitty. So I'm not going to do that. I've got too much integrity to let someone's ex, lucky for you, by the way, that I would let someone's ex come on my podcast and drag them. Now, she not only said you're lazy and won't work and don't have a car and wore her car out, she also said you were abusive to her. Now, should I believe her the way you believed my ex? Should we believe every word that comes out of her mouth like it's gospel? Hey, Rusty, should we believe every word your ex says about you? Or should some of it, we look at it in skepticism saying, well, she's an ex, of course she's going to say shitty stuff. But again, I have integrity and you don't. My listeners have integrity, Crack Squad don't. My supporters have integrity, Crack Squad's just filth, full of hypocrisies. So just like I thought, Eyesmick's a victim of me somehow. Just what I thought, just like Wade Deaver. Eyesmick is a victim of me somehow after he trolled me relentlessly for 2 months, making fun of my medical condition, making fun of where he thought I live. He hasn't gotten it right yet. Neither have you, Power Stroke, and neither has your daddy. You guys are looking at the wrong property. That property is rented by a retired deputy sheriff. He's lived there for 13 years. We can go knock on the door. I may do that. I may, once this shit calms down a little bit, I may just go knock on the door and we'll talk to him. And he'll tell you that if you start fucking with his address, you're going to wish you wouldn't. Okay? You guys have no business doing that to people. I called Ryan Upchurch out for bullying women. And you guys left YouTube and started doing this shit to people. Showing photographs of people's house, all that shit, right? You guys did that. And the people that watch my pod, all of them know it. You're not fooling anybody. Just because the 600 people that follow you, Power Stroke, are acting like you didn't do nothing. Most of the common-minded people out there that watch my podcast, and nearly 5,000 of them, see you as an absolute fucking scumbag for doing that shit. And you guys are the ones that took it off of YouTube. You guys. Because I dared call your precious Ryan out. So let's hear you be a victim some more. Eyesmick, a victim of me.
He likes that hat.
Yeah, dude, this hat
came from
it
Buckle.
Didn't come from Buckle.
Yeah, it did. It came from Buckle. Hey guys, I'll make you a $500 bet that I could get in my car right now, go straight to Buckle and walk straight back, and they got that hat hanging back there in the back in the LBGTQ section. It's exactly where it came from. That is a Buckle hat. Just because you didn't buy it from a Buckle store, don't make it not a Buckle hat. That is a Rock Revival emblem on that hat. Okay, Rock Revival is a Buckle brand.
NFL shop hat, Jimmy.
That
you wouldn't know anything
NFL
about that.
NFL shop. That logo on that hat is Rock Revival. Rock Revival brand logo. Rock Revival is a Buckle brand, not NFL. There's nothing NFL about that Buckle hat.
A cheerleader, you know what I mean? Or a cross-dresser, whatever, y'all. But if you watch the NFL, you might know that's not a mushroom, you fucking retard.
I call it a mushroom, okay? That's not got nothing to do with the NFL. That is Rock Revival's emblem. That's on the back of jeans, on the back of coats, on the side of purses. That is Rock Revival's icon.
He said that was a mushroom earlier.
I said it looks like a mushroom when it's sitting on your head. No man with a shred of dignity would wear a leather hat.
It's a Florida lead, New Orleans Saints. Who that? But I mean, I've lived in New Orleans my whole life. There's not much here that I don't fucking like. The food's great. I mean, I'm a pudgy fella.
I lived in Ohio my whole life. There ain't much here I don't like. The food's good.
Shit. What else?
You're half my fucking age. So I want you to think for a minute. Take everything you know, everything you've experienced, and times it by 2.
I have no kids, Jimmy. None.
Well, you can't, for one, when you can't keep a woman long enough to marry you, it's hard to have kids. I'm proud of having kids. Well, you think, I don't get it. What was that supposed to mean? That people with kids, there's something wrong with people that have kids? I was married 2 years before my first child was born. And I'm proud of every kid I've got. Well, nothing wrong with having kids. What was that supposed to mean? I don't have no kids. I think it's sad. And you want to know why I think it's sad? Because now, let's say you do meet somebody, okay? let's say you do meet somebody and you have a kid, you will be old and decrepit the day they graduate. Think about that, man. So, yeah, you're supposed to maybe start having kids right at around 27 to 30. That's the prime age that you'd want to start having kids. Same with women, 27 to 30 years old. That way, by the time they hit high school, you're pretty mature, you're 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 seasoned, and you can be a responsible parent. They say that that's the prime age area in which you would want to have kids. And not to get too far off in the weeds, but with all this abortion, this free abortion, and you've got all these LGBTQ folks and trans, we're going to see a lot of lonely senior citizens in the years to come. You're going to have a lot of people out there that get into their golden years and they have no one. Could you imagine being 70 years old, 75 years old, and you have no children? So then you have no grandchildren. You're not married because you wouldn't put the effort in to maintain a relationship with somebody, and you're alone in the world. And you're having all kind of medical issues. And then, depression will put you in the grave quicker than anything. So for any of you guys out there listening, you need to have kids, because when you get old, you're going to need to have some companionship in your golden years. You're going to want to have grandchildren. You're going to want to have family that cares about you. You're going to want to have a spouse be with you in your last days on this earth. You don't want to be alone.
I started making the videos straight up. I became this person on YouTube based off of his lies. I mean, that was the whole reason I started making videos.
What lie? Which one? Was I lying when I said, hey, Ryan Upchurch, what you're doing to those women's wrong? Was I lying when I said, hey, Power Stroke, you better knock that shit off? There's a reporter coming around talking to people. And it's funny how that news article was actually written and printed in the paper, and you guys still act like that wasn't a real thing. Where do you think they got all that information from? They went around asking people. Man, you guys are dumb.
And he's like running with some fucking objective that I was bitching about him being in a mobile home. That wasn't the focus of what I said anything about a mobile home.
Yeah, you did. That's all you did. What focus? And I don't live in that property for the umpteenth time. My house is the other way where I live, other direction.
The focus of it was you're a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's point blank period what it is. And if you don't live in that mobile home, then why does your wife use the driveway, Jimmy? It's on your Facebook, bitch.
That is our shop. Only the house, only part of the house is rented. We have an office on the back section, and there was we built onto the back, and there's an office in the back. The driveway and the shop aren't rented, just the house. The other two that I own, the one right beside it, and the other one, there is where you'll find me. Sorry that bothers you so bad where I live. Why do you care where I live? This whole thing, you're going to make yourself sound, I should just let you talk. But why do you care where I live? What's that got to do with you? What's that got to do with why you even saw my face? The point is, some women were being bullied and pummeled, stalked, and slandered. That's what we should be talking about. not where I live. Mr. Morals. Oh, a lie. What kind of lie was it when Power Stroke said that Zanime absolutely did paddle over that dead body? Was that a lie? Or was it a lie when Ryan Upshirt said there's no evidence this girl exists? Come on, man. The hypocrisy's just going to run out of you and drip on the floor again, but let's let you do it. Let's hear how your morals brought you to me.
But I mean, after tonight, you're gonna be relevant, dude. Straight up, like if you win, Jimmy, you know, live in your little fairy world, Alice.
See, it is his ex getting a hold of me. It's his ex. I win. Isn't that funny? He acts like there's been this exchange where I've been coming at him and he's been forced to defend himself, and now he's just given up and he's going to let me, the bully that's been bullying him, win, when he trolled me for 2 months before he could even get a response out of me. I knew you were going to try to play victim. I knew you were. Nobody's buying that, but you understand that these people only like you because you trash mouth me. If you didn't trash mouth me, they wouldn't watch your videos. They wouldn't give you the goddamn time of day. You're an uninteresting, not very well spoken, kind of dumpy dude. Sorry, but that's the way I see you. And you're no victim. You came at me till I finally decided to respond. And I only responded because your ex-girlfriend sent me an email after you guys let an ex drag me. Like nobody else out there has an ex that would talk bad about him. You know how many men went, God damn, my woman does that to me too. That shit's disgusting. And that's what I mean. You think it made you look big, Power Stroke, but I'll bet you 90% of the people that listen to your podcast and 90% of the people that listen to my podcast have had an ex do that to them. It made you look like shit, dude. Trust me on that.
Whatever your fucking name is. I mean,
whatever my name is. My name's Jim. You got it right.
All right, my friend.
You got it right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know.
Grab something.
I mean, I don't know. That's you know, one thing that got me.
Sorry, I got to get some CDB in me, man. My legs are just a burning. All right.
I mean, I ain't really trying to go into it, but
we can get into anything we want, bro.
Yeah, I know. But one thing that that got me, man, is it's like, I mean, he's like, yeah, man. Well, what if I come out as gay? Then it's a hate crime. It's like, what the fuck?
Dude?
It has nothing. It has, yeah. It's like, dude, it ain't got nothing to do with a fucking. Listen, if you're gay, that's fine.
Oh no, don't backpedal. Don't backpedal. Don't backpedal. You guys tried to act like that would be like some horrible thing. Yeah, you did. Don't even try it. Any of you guys out there gay? These people think it's horrible to be gay. Go back and watch the podcast and then read the comments. And then you'll see how they really feel about gay people. Now, once again, that was my wife I was with. She'll tell you that it was her. I've been married 3 times. I've got 6 kids. 5 still on the earth. I sleep with women, not with men. I have a child that is gay married. One of my children, and I'm not going to say whether foster, adopted, or step, or blood, is in a gay relationship marriage. Coolest person, I would say, probably one of the coolest in-laws I've ever had. But you go ahead. Let's hear it.
Nobody care that you're gay, but just don't lie about it. Like, that's the difference, you know?
What? Hey. Wait a minute. Don't lie about it. What are you talking about? Don't lie about it. I've never talked anything about my sexuality to anyone. You guys, because I called Ryan Upchurch out, went off of YouTube, paid money to download my background, and then shared it with everybody. And then you read some half-ass bullshit and let some ex come on and grossly exaggerate, and then you want people to believe it. The point is, you had no business doing any of that. What I did calling Ryan Upchurch out doesn't constitute the response you guys, the links that you guys have went to, right? That's where we're at. So you go ahead and preach here, Power Stroke, thinking it makes you look good. Don't lie. Were you lying when you said Xana May was stolen valor and was the head of a human sex trafficking ring? Was that a lie, Power Stroke? When you said the government edited Kylie's photos, was that a lie, Power Stroke? When you said the one photo that Kylie had where she photoshopped the braces off her teeth, like many young girls do, and you said that that was some way to throw you and Upchurch off the trail, man. And then, you know, the funny thing is Ryan Upchurch didn't even have sense enough to take them videos down. They're still up.
I mean, that's not what a true creeker does, Jimmy. You're a true creeker. You're the creek squad, right?
Yeah, I'm Creek Squad. You're Crack Squad.
Don't deal with the bullshit. Like,
hey,
what are you doing lying? You live in your mom's boyfriend's low-income apartment. You don't have a job, and you don't have a car. You were abusive to your girlfriend. You messed her car up. You were abusive to her, verbally abusive to her, and you mooched off of her. She worked all the time. You never had any money. She had to pay for everything every time you guys went somewhere. Those are her words, not mine. So you go. And I know you're going to say you're done now because you're petrified I'm going to bring her on. And lucky for you, I have integrity. And that goes for you too, Rusty. I got one of them emails from your ex. Rusty. What'd you do to her? Rusty. What'd you do to her, dude? That she wants to come on and drag your ass. Guess we'll never know since I have integrity and you don't.
Man.
I'm sorry you got the memo fucked up with something else, maybe a gay pride fucking parade memo, but that's not what Creek Squad's about, Jimmy.
Eyesmick, if I could interrupt you for a minute, man.
Go ahead. What you got, boss?
We're kind of on a point.
What you got?
So, like I said, I've been busy today. I kind of been doing some shit half in there. Here and there, I'll be brutally honest. And I was listening to him. And I come across this. I've come across the entire point of everything he is about. It's a belief system, right? Because everything that he is pushing out there is a belief system, which would technically qualify as a religion at this point, right? So if you believe that Ryan Upchurch...
So, belief system, right? Here's my belief system. Live your life being decent to people. Give people the same respect they give you. Assume the best of people until you have a reason not to. Don't punch down. Don't bully. Never use your power or influence to wield personal issues. Okay, so like, here's an example. Let's say you're a supervisor and you've got 4 people that work for you. And one of them you just can't fucking stand. I mean, you can't stand the son of a bitch, but he does his job and does it well. You have to respect that, right? And so when it comes time to reprimand, you can't reprimand somebody based on your personal feelings. You have to reprimand them based on the event. So let's say one of the technicians that works for you really, really like. Okay, you guys party together, you go out on the weekends together, he comes to your house, you have cookouts, right? The other technician you fucking hate and you can't stand them. You have to be able to treat them as equals at work. You guys are incapable of that kind of integrity. Okay? You've shown that as long as you don't like somebody, all bets are off. You'll dox them, slander them, bully them, you make fun of their medical conditions and all that. And then if you like them, how dare anybody do that? That's called selective morality. And there have been studies done about selective morality, many studies, and they attest it to low IQ. Selective morality comes from people that have extremely low IQs. That's not me. Those aren't my words. That's a Berkeley. You can Google it right now. Power stroke. Google selective morality study. And they've determined that people who have selective morality, in other words, if someone they like does something wrong, they're fine with it. If someone they don't like does something wrong, they're outraged by it. That's called selective morality. And they say that only people with extremely low IQs do that.
Church did whatever the fuck falls out of his face into a tirade. You are a crack squad, right?
In his eyes, yeah.
No. Here's what crack squad is. Okay, pay attention, Power Stroke. Crack squad are the scum, dirtbag filth that go attack anyone Ryan Upchurch calls out. That's crack squad. Summed up in just a sentence. If you are willing to go dox, slander, and bully somebody that's never done anything to you because they said something about Ryan Upchurch or Ryan Upchurch said something about them, you are crack squad. So what's that make you? Does that make you crack squad, Power Stroke? Absolutely does. Does that make you crack squad, Eyesmick? Absolutely does. The only reason you're coming at me is because I called Ryan Upchurch out for using his social media influence to punch down. Imagine being a 17-year-old girl. You're living your life. You're minding your own business. All of a sudden, here comes all this hate on your Instagram. Just explodes. And you can't even figure out where it's coming from. And come to find out, a celebrity held up your picture and accused you of being involved in the Kylie Rodney missing person case. And all these people that look up to that celebrity are now coming at you. Now, you guys have saw the way Crack Squad came at me, right? They did the same thing to a 17-year-old girl who didn't even know who Ryan Upchurch was. And Power Stroke, you were a part of that. So were you, Rusty, with a past, with an ex that wants to drag you. And you know those 7 emails you sent to a a 17-year-old girl trying to get her to slander me, we gave those to the police. You have no business bothering minor children, Rusty, especially a minor female. On behalf of Ryan Upchurch, you went on my Facebook page, reached out to everyone you could find through my Facebook page, until you finally landed on a drunk ex that was willing to slander. You bothered a woman that works at Lowe's just because she had the same name as my first wife. No relation to me at all. She had to call the police. You pestered the shit out of a 17-year-old girl, my oldest brother's granddaughter, because she had the same name. She told you to leave her alone, and you didn't leave her alone. And that's why we took it to the police. You have no business bothering children, Buster. And I don't care how official you think you are, because you're endorsed by a cracked out fucking celebrity, you aren't allowed to mess with minors. And neither are you, Power Stroke. Neither one of you are. So keep it up. Keep it up. You're right, I win, Eyesmick. I win because you guys made yourselves look like pure fucking filth.
Either way, right? So that's what I'm saying. We need to correctly identify this whole entire thing as a religion, because that's what it is. Like, I understand my son, who is very, very, very dear to my heart, he's going to be sued sometime in the next 1 year and 10 months. And I'm terrified, right? Absolutely fucking terrified.
I love that. I love that you guys think that's funny. That right there, that's the one that tickles me pink, to know that you think that's funny. I'm willing to bet Ryan Upchurch already got his papers. That's why he don't mention it anymore. I'm almost certain he got his already. And if you think that a reporter didn't get a hold of people, and you think a lawyer didn't ask for screen caps and screen grabs, I got news for you, buddy. You're wrong. I'm not the only one. You might want to go read the comments in some of my videos, because you're going to see there are people in those comments saying, yeah, I got that email too. It's very real, son. It's very, very real. And it tickles me to death. Tickles me to death that you guys laugh about it, because they're going to play this shit. This will be entered as evidence, you laughing about it. What the fuck is that grand jury, civil grand jury, gonna think when they see that his dad helped him do this?
I mean, I'm liquidating stocks. There's a lot of shit that
my advice to your son is to not put anything in his name over the next 14 months. Slowly move any assets away that you might have. That's my advice to you. You might want to talk to people that have been civilly sued before to see, because here's what happens, Rusty. When they get a judgment against you, then they can go for assets. They can, if you don't pay, let's say you get a $600,000 judgment, which wouldn't be unrealistic. The girl was followed, threatened, someone pulled up in front of her work, and it got bad. I'm not going to get into all the details, but it got bad for her. It got really bad for her. That's why there was a news article written about it. And it's not the person you think, Rusty. I know that's what you think it is, but it's not. It's somebody you're going to go, wow, I forgot all about that. You're going to go, wow, I forgot. Trust me, there is a lawyer that screen grabs were sent to. There was a reporter that came around asking. Those things are very real, Rusty. Now, whether or not it ends up being something, I don't know. But all I know is a recorded statement and screen grabs. That's what I know. And I doubt very seriously that would have happened unless someone had the full intention of seeking compensation. And, Rusty, the girl's mother was interviewed on a news program. I don't know if you saw the video or not. Many people have. And she said, we are going to seek compensation. That was her words. Not mine, hers, the mother's. She is extremely wealthy. They live in a gated community, wealthy. So you take that information, do with it what you want. I don't care. I'm not the one that did this stupid shit to people. Your son did.
I'm really trying to gear up for this. We are some very simple people. We don't have much, right? And we're
very, very simple people, but you would encourage your son. You would encourage your son to do what's been going on. You understand, I called out Ryan Upchurch for bullying women. And then I made a very respectful video to your son saying, hey, there's a reporter sniffing around. You guys might want to knock that shit off. The news article from that reporter was actually printed. And here you are thinking it's a joke. Don't quit acting like you're the victim of me. I didn't do anything to your stupid fucking chubby kid. And part of being a parent is teaching a child good eating habits. When you see these parents out there and they've got a 6-year-old that's 3 times overweight, do you think it's the 6-year-old's fault or do you think it's the parent's fault? You have to teach a child proper food proportions. And you didn't teach your child right from wrong. You didn't teach your child not to be a bully. You didn't teach your child not to slander people for no reason. You didn't teach your child not to overreact. You didn't teach your child any kind of civility, and it's obvious you didn't teach him any good eating habits. But you go ahead. Parent of the year, you go ahead.
Prepare.
Well, what happened to him? Well, obviously he's done talking. I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, looks to me like probably another frickin' connection issue. Anyway, that about sums up who Eyesmick is, right? The victim of psychobabble. Just like Wade Deaver, the victim of psychobabble. Mr. Eyesmick with all these morals. Now, what you were doing there is you were seeing his surrender. Okay. Now, there's only one reason why he surrendered, is because that is his ex-girlfriend sending me emails. See, you kind of got to be careful when people do that, because it might be bullshit, right? They might be setting you up to try to make a fool out of you. And so you got to make sure that what you're hearing or seeing's got some, some reality to it, right? So I was very skeptical in the beginning. The first couple of emails, I kind of blew them off. I figured it was Crack Squad. But by the time I got the fourth one and what was said in that fourth one, I thought, no. This is definitely a scorned girlfriend. So Eyesmick is petrified. She's going to come on and tell her truth. Lucky for you, Eyesmick, I'm not. I don't have that low of integrity. Now, Rusty, I can't make you that same promise. Your ex absolutely would love to drag your ass. And don't preach that you're some great people. Okay? 5,000 of my followers watched you help your child bully people, watched you help your child dox people, watched you help your child slander people. So save it. You encouraged your child to allow someone's ex to slander them, knowing full well everybody out there has an ex that would do that. Now, see, as you can see, Eyesmick, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and my eyes look exactly the same way they do at 10 o'clock at night, don't they? See that? Okay. You've been making fun of my eyes from the beginning. It's not me making fun of your disability. You were making fun of mine. Let's be clear. This condition is due, it's a complication that popped up due to the chemical used to treat the cancer that I have. And you've been making fun of it. So did Wade Deaver. I had a bone marrow transplant. This is a side effect of that. I'm going in. It's been rescheduled twice now. You see, the way, because of COVID, if you go to the hospital to get a surgery or anything, if you have even the slightest temperature, they won't do it. So it got pushed back. That's why we had to say, well, we'll wait till we're done with this, because we go to Florida, actually Mobile, and then we go down to Florida. I got relatives in Mobile every winter. And we're just, because we're retired, okay, we can do whatever the fuck we want, right? And so we had to postpone our trip to Florida. Now we're still going, but I gotta wait till this shit gets done, because I can't hardly drive at night. It's a bitch. Look how bad that cataract is in that eye. It's pretty fucking bad, man. So you guys made fun of that. You've been making fun of that from day one. And now you want to be victims. Now you want to act like, oh, I've got a peg leg, and Psycho Bob was going to make fun of it. No. One of my greatest supporters, motivated one-legger, loves the guy. Don't care about your disability. I'm not the one making fun of your disability, Eyesmick. You did that to me. Power Strokes Daddy. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. No fucking parent ought to be supportive of their child doing the shit your fucking fat fucking kid was doing to 4 innocent women and a 17-year-old girl. That shit was off the hook. Way off the fucking hook. You understand me, you fucking punk? Because that's what you are, a punk. A punk bitch. Rusty, you're a punk bitch. Teaching your fucking kid to be a bully and kick down. And now you want to try to take some moral higher ground, and you have none. There's no moral higher ground for you. You lost it. It's gone. You look like an absolute piece of shit now. The same way Ryan Upchurch's mother should have responded with damage control, not assistance. Because he really, really, really damaged his brand something terrible. And because of the drugs, nobody over there had sense enough to know that this was really, really, really damaging his brand. To say that girl was fake, to say those parents faked her death, to accuse some random woman on YouTube and then dox her and slander her and attack her and mob her. Go look at the comments on her last video, Rusty. Still today, and there ain't a single one of you, there isn't a single Crack Squad member that has said, Zanime, we're sorry. We were wrong. Not one of you. So don't you dare even try to pull some moral higher ground. You don't have any. Your step up burnt down. You're a dirtbag. Your kid's a dirtbag. Eyesmick, you're a dirtbag. Wade Deaver, you're a dirtbag. Anybody that supported Ryan Upchurch doing that shit, using his social media influence to punch down at people and fuck people's lives up, you are dirtbags. All of you. Dirtbags. See you guys on the next live. Thank you for listening.